Physical lures form an essential stage in seduction, a moment when everything begins to shift from the psychological and emotional into the physical. By this phase, you've cultivated an intense connection with your target on multiple levels, creating attachment, emotional dependence, and perhaps even obsession. Now, through the subtle art of physical cues and tactile hints, you invite them to experience you on a more intimate level. This stage leverages the language of the body, eye contact, touch, and proximity, creating an unspoken but potent allure that awakens their senses, turning desire into something more tangible, more visceral. Using physical lures does not mean immediate or explicit displays. Rather, it's the subtle, understated cues that initiate a powerful, almost subconscious pull. For instance, a lingering glance, the brush of a hand, or the casual invasion of personal space can create a tension that suggests intimacy without directly engaging it. The allure here lies in the implication, not the obvious. A seductive gaze that lingers a beat too long, a slight touch that could be accidental but feels charged, or a pause in conversation that draws them into your orbit. The element of the unknown here intensifies their attraction, feeding fantasies that become hard to resist. The objective is to create a sense of magnetism, where your physical presence begins to dominate their senses. Often, the first step involves eye contact that communicates more than words could say. The way you look at them should be layered with intention, a gaze that flits between warmth and mystery. Eye contact alone has a profound effect on our bodies. It raises adrenaline, triggers endorphins, and creates a sense of closeness, even intimacy. When combined with a subtle touch or the careful encroachment into their personal space, you engage them on a primal level, bypassing the conscious mind and igniting physical attraction that's difficult to ignore. Body language becomes an essential component in this phase. The way you position yourself, how your movements echo theirs, or how you close the physical distance between you sends powerful signals. Mirroring is one subtle technique that can make your presence feel familiar and comforting, creating an unspoken bond that fosters intimacy. As your target begins to sense this nonverbal connection, they feel drawn to you, unconsciously attuning their own movements and energy to yours. This mimicking and syncing can create a natural rhythm between you, where your physicality speaks directly to their senses, building anticipation for the moment when this unspoken connection might turn tangible. Another powerful tactic is scent. The human sense of smell is closely tied to memory and emotion, and a unique, well-chosen scent can become an invisible but deeply intimate lure. It should not be overwhelming, but rather subtle, something they only catch when they're close. Scent has the power to linger in their mind, even when you're not there. The memory of your scent alone can evoke emotions of longing and desire, keeping you present even in your absence. This invisible lure can evoke memories, stir feelings, and create a sense of connection that's hard to rationalize or shake off. Touch, of course, is a potent tool when used sparingly and strategically. You need not aim for bold touches. Light, casual contact can be incredibly suggestive when done right. The brush of a hand resting lightly on their shoulder as you pass by, or even the playful touch of their arm, creates an electric undercurrent that hints at intimacy without crossing overt boundaries. Each of these instances allows your target to feel the warmth of your touch without fully experiencing it, building desire through restraint. Their imagination begins to fill in the blanks, creating fantasies where this restrained contact transforms into something more, intensifying their craving. In the same vein, close proximity is another subtle but effective method of luring your target physically. By standing just a little closer than is typical, sitting in such a way that your knees might brush against theirs, or leaning in as you speak, you create a space that feels private, intimate, and inviting. The proximity creates a gravitational pull, where they're subtly aware of your closeness and perhaps a little off balance. This imbalance leaves them wanting more, their awareness of you intensifying with each shared moment. A sense of electricity fills the space between you, and the subtle tension becomes almost tangible, charging every encounter with anticipation. The language of physicality in seduction is rooted in restraint as much as it is in allure. The mind often fills in what is withheld, and as you keep your touch light, your glances fleeting, and your proximity charged but controlled, you create an environment ripe for longing. You become a tantalizing presence that hints at intimacy without delivering it outright, allowing your target's imagination to paint the picture of what could be. This self-generated fantasy, in turn, amplifies their attraction, as they find themselves longing for a physical connection that feels inevitable yet just out of reach. It's crucial to read the subtle cues of their body language to ensure your signals are being received positively. You are not just asserting your presence. You are testing the waters, adapting your approach as needed based on their responses. If they lean in, hold your gaze, or respond to your touch with warmth, it's a sign that your lures are working. However, if you detect discomfort, it's vital to pull back and recalibrate, returning to a more neutral space to prevent breaking the spell of seduction. The beauty of physical lures lies in their adaptability, in the ability to adjust and respond, creating a dance where both partners are engaged and attuned to one another. As the physical tension grows, you allow for moments of silence, stillness, and the thrill of unspoken understanding. This quiet space, charged with mutual awareness, can be incredibly powerful. By allowing pauses where your eyes meet or your hand lingers slightly too long, you foster a shared space of intimacy. It's in these pauses that fantasies grow, where the emotional and the physical become entwined, and where your target's desire begins to burn. In these moments, you are neither advancing nor retreating. You are simply present, allowing the weight of your allure to sink in and solidify. In this phase, the seduction moves away from calculated strategies and enters a realm of instinct and responsiveness. Physical lures do not follow a rigid plan. Rather, they adapt to the unique dance between you and your target. By creating a delicate balance of presence and restraint, physical and mental allure, you draw them deeper into the spell. They feel the magnetic pull, the sense of inevitability, and are soon enveloped in a seduction that feels natural and irresistible. At this stage, they are primed for a deeper connection, ready to cross the final threshold from longing into fulfillment, with their desire for you fully awakened and ready to be realized.